seen Silvester for quite a long time, so we're a bit rusty.
Hello, testing 1, 2. Fine. Good. I think this microphone's fat. Is that better? That's good. Oh, it's not. Oh dear. Why does it go right when you say a rude word?
I'm obviously the straight man today. I shall just keep a straight face and feed the questions in. Well, it's very nice to have you here. And headbutting the microphone. And I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about a small show you did some 25 years ago.
Ah, yes.
When the world was young.
What's that, Jigsaw?
Jigsaw. Vision On.
Vision On?
I was always...
This was!
Now we know the age of the crowd.
Brummies, you know, they're all up here, you know, from Tiswas land.
So, I'm going to ask some questions. I've been asked not to ask questions about Tony Hart and various other subjects.
Lovely man. Sally James, now you're talking. She still looks like that, it's amazing.
So, I was given a list of questions which they sent to me by email, and my printer isn't working. And I wrote them down by hand, and then I put down the piece of paper I wrote them down by hand on, and left it in London.
Oh, right. So I should leave now then, you've got nothing to ask me.
Well, I thought I'd just make stuff up.
Yeah, oh good, yeah.
I generally get paid to do that anyway.
Fire away, fire away.
So, you're famous for being the Seventh Doctor.
Yeah.
And we worked together on the Daleks.
Yes.
So I thought we'd ask a question about Daleks.
Yes.
What were they like to work with?
No, it wouldn't. Well, they were made of wood. I'm joking. No, it was great working with the Daleks. I mean, they were special Daleks, because I don't know if you remember. They gave, you know those balls, those round balls you have in wheelbarrows? They used to be orange, you know, as a wheelbarrow was big. Well, what they did was they adapted the Daleks to make them more amenable to going over bumpy ground. So they gave them 3 rare big orange balls. So that's what I learned about the Daleks. If you looked under their skirt, there were 3 big orange balls. But it didn't really work very well, because when they were going along on the, you know, the bumpy road, they'd wobble a bit. They all looked as if they'd just come out of the pub. They were all a bit drunk. I mean, we'd just come out of the pub as well, so we were wobbling as well, so that's what made it look all right.
Yes, blowing up Hammersmith, I remember very well.
Blowing up. No, it was Hammersmith, but also the Waterloo Station.
That's right, it's Waterloo Station.
That was quite an extraordinary event, because it was we were filming on the Easter Monday, the 60th anniversary of the Easter uprising in Dublin. So they were expecting some trouble from the IRA, and we were, by chance, filming under Waterloo Station in under the arches of Waterloo Station, and there was a great battle scene going on between one section of the Daleks and the other. And the pyrotechnic boys at the BBC, they put all their explosives, you know, under the archway, and then they let it off. And it was such an explosion that all the cars nearby rattled and all their alarms went off, and some windows cracked. And then suddenly in the distance there was smoke everywhere. And suddenly in the distance you had do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And the police came, and the ambulance came, and the fire engine came. And they were coming down the road towards me. I remember this quite distinctly. Coming down the road towards me, and the archway was here, and out of smoke everywhere. And the driver of the ambulance suddenly, he stopped, and his jaw dropped to his chest, because out of the smoke came 3 Daleks. It was just amazing. And what had happened was that there was, some police, the BBC had told the police, they got permission out, as far as I know, but they forgot to tell the London police. And it was on Radio Caroline. The IRA have blown up Waterloo Station. And of course, right enough, the Daleks had Irish accents when they came along. We will exterminate, oh boy.
There were strange, spry little old men, if I remember rightly.
Very spry little old men, yeah.
Little old men who'd been doing Daleks since 1963.
They had, yes.
Some of them, the original Daleks.
And some of them I don't think had ever come out. There was one little fella, I mean, he used to tell me that they'd forget, they'd say cut, you know, in the studio or wherever they were, cut, Dalek scene, everybody would go off, and then suddenly you hear a... Hello. Anybody there? They'd completely forgotten about them.
And apparently good for overhearing other people's conversations.
Exactly, yes.
Well.
Did you get any gossip from them? I was trying desperately.
I was trying to get it from the makeup people, because they always have the best gossip.
Yes, I know, but the...
and the coffee.
But the Dalek guys, they had the best, a really good gossip, because everyone forgot they were there. I mean, I was trying to get a lowdown on, you know, kind of on John Pertwee and, you know, Katie Manning, what was happening there, and all those kind of things, but they never told me.
It's a sacred.
Can you take that?
Yes, I mean, what was it like working with Tom and Lala? What fun that would have been to be a Dalek.
Okay, I do remember one of the questions. One of the questions was, what was it like reprising the role later with Paul McGann?
Oh yeah, well, I liked that, enjoyed that, because I had no responsibility. You know, no, really. I mean, because when it was all Paul McGann, you know, you got the job, you can take the responsibility. I'm just going to have fun. And of course, they treated me like, you know, a Hollywood star. You know, whereas I'd been working for the BBC. If you're lucky, if you had a changing room, that was not a toilet. So, but when I got there, they gave me a Pantechnicon. I had this vast kind of, it was a Pantechnicon, because in Canada where they filmed it, you know, they have to take them up mountains and all over the place. And my Pantechnicon had a lounge, kitchen, shower rooms. It had lighting for every kind of season you'd want. I was just so luxurious. And then, what's his name, who's playing the master? What's his name?
Eric Roberts.
Yes, I knew it. I was just wondering if you did. Eric Roberts. Anyway, Eric Roberts turns up 2 weeks in, and I got this amazing caravan. And he comes, he arrives, he looks at the caravan and says, I don't like the carpet, I want it a different colour. And he goes, I don't like the makeup lady, I want my own. And I thought, I didn't know you were supposed to do that. I had no idea. And it was too late to go and ask for a new carpet, because I already messed on mine. Anyway, but it was fun. It was fun. And I was amazed that I did as much as I did in the film. I think they got it wrong. I shouldn't have been in it. I should not have been in that film. They should have just done Paul McGann and then later explained and brought me in. But that, I think it was just too complicated for an American audience to follow. You know, hey, this is not an anti-American thing yet. Anyway.
Dry ice.
Dry ice. Not a dry ice in the house. Well, I missed Panto. I didn't do one this year.
You did not do a Panto this year?
Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't do a Panto, did I? Gosh, did you all come and see it? Was I any good? I must be getting old. I can't remember doing one.
You're just so good now that you just very...
No, I was because of a certain film that I'm not allowed to mention, The Hobbit. I've been programmed by waiter, I'm not allowed to say Hobbit. Anyway, because of that, I couldn't commit myself to a pantomime.
You were in the air anyway, 24-hour flight, is that?
36, I think it takes. By the time you get there, it's on. Oh!
They stopped now.
Okay.
I've run out of questions. We also had a whole set of questions that were predicated on the idea that Sophie would be here, who unfortunately is stuck in London due to a derailment.
Right.
We didn't do it.
Well, if you want, I'll go. Does anyone out there want to ask a question? Okay, bye. There must be. Put your hands up. There's a person over there. Right.
Silvester will now come amongst you.
Like some great god.
Yes. Prostrate yourself.
You'll be disappointing. Close up, I look so small.
I'm here, so I can cut between the audience if you like, Silvester.
No.
Oh. Easy stuff.
Try and get off the stage. Look how you're flowing, actually. Right, here I am. Now I get to see what you really look like. Silly me. Right, you're way over here, aren't you? Put your hand up. Yes? Okay, ask a question.
Will you be doing, if there's a reunion of all the past Doctors for the 50th anniversary, will you be in it? Will you be interested in that?
Well, yes, I would. I'd be quite interested. to do that. There was, but I mean, the only problem is that the last producer of Doctor Who, what's his name? Speak louder. Yes, I was just testing you. Anyway, Steve Moffat, the last, he once was asked to do it, and he said, well, have all those egos in one room. So that might be a bit of a problem, having all the egos in one room. So, I came up with an idea. I think what they should do is they should do the whole season and have the Doctors in it, but all in disguise in various different stories. You know, all the old farts that played the part before. We could all play, you know, monsters or something else, or, you know, that could be part of the fun of it. Rather than actually coming back as Doctors, but just actually come back as, you know, characters in it. So anyone else, put your hands up. There's a person up there. And here I go. Mind your feet.
How did you feel when your Doctor came to an end, like BBC cancelled the series? Because including me, you were absolutely gutted.
That was my agent. And my bank manager. Well, I was a bit miffed, really, because originally when I was going to do it, I thought I'll do 3 years. Because I got a message via Patrick Troughton, no, I got a message from Patrick Troughton via Peter Davidson saying, only do 3 years. And Peter only did 3, now he regrets it. And Patrick Troughton, I think, must have just didn't want anyone else to do it any more than him. Anyway, I thought I'd just do 3. And then they said, listen, we want you to do a 4th season. And I said, well, and I said, if you don't do a 4th season, we won't let you do the 3rd season. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I agreed to do the 4th season. They were going to turn it into 26 episodes because before that I was doing 15 episodes. And I was going to commit my whole life to doing Doctor Who for a year. And I got my mind into that and I was looking forward to it. And then they cancelled it. Isn't that? They cancelled it. But you're not upset. He's done a poo in his head. Any more questions?
Have you still got your hat?
I've still got my hat. Yes, I have. It's disintegrating, as I am. So, I still have my hat. Anyone else? Over there. Right, I'm coming. Oh, I can't. Sorry. Get out of the way. Move that.
What can you actually tell us about The Hobbit?
Oh, Zilch. No, I just speak about it. It was just really frustrating because I had a great time doing it. I really love doing it and having done the bits, and I want to tell everybody about it. But I've been sworn to secrecy. I can tell you Ian McKellen's in it, but we all know that. Ian McKellen's taller than me, but we all know that. I play Radagast the Brown. And the reason why I got the job was I could say Radagast the Brown. So that's why I'm in it. Peter Jackson is really great to work with. He's one of the, New Zealand is a lovely place. It's a bit bigger than Britain. The weather's a bit better than Britain. The mountains are a bit taller than Scotland. And it's, it's lovely to go out there. I've been around the world now last year twice. And on the way I tried to stop off. For the first time I went to Hong Kong. I'd always wanted to go to China. I was supposed to be on a tour years ago in the 70s, and we were supposed to go to Hong Kong, but it was cancelled because there was rioting in the Philippines, so we never got to Hong Kong. Always wanted to go there. Went to Hong Kong, and my goodness, it's a marvellous city. It's a bit just like New York, only it's Far Eastern New York, full of Chinese New Yorkers, if you know what I mean. It's like Chinatown, all of it. New York, Chinatown, all of it. But what was amazing was how beautiful the people are. They're really beautiful. Apart from they're kind as well. They respect old people. I love it. I'm going to retire there. And it's all that I love all that stuff. But I kept wondering. I thought, wow, maybe they export all the ugly Chinese to Chinatown, because when you go down to Chinatown, they're not as beautiful as the ones in Hong Kong. So I love that. But then the last time I went out, I went to Tulsa on the way there to do a convention. Now this was a science fiction. No, it was a horror and science fiction convention. A few months before, I'd been in Atlanta at Dragon Con, and 45,000 people officially turned out. 200,000 unofficially turned out, but health and safety, they said it was only 45,000 people. Packed! Not all to see me, I mean, just to amazing convention. If you ever get a chance to go to it, it's amazing. They take over 5 hotels in the centre of Atlanta. They have a great parade on the Saturday with everybody's there. Batman, Robin, you name it. Any superhero, X-Men, ex-wives, they're all there. It's just brilliant to watch. Anyway, so I was looking forward to Tulsa for this horror and, you know, science fiction thing. I turn up, 45 people turned up in Tulsa. 45,000 in Atlanta, but only 45 in Tulsa. Because it was a bit chaotically done. It was very sweet guys that did it. But what was really good was the horror people. They all arrived with their brains hanging out, you know, things like that. You know, it's lovely. You see them all dressed. People who look at their eyeball hanging down here, and they look around the corner to see is anyone there before they go around it and all that. So that was fun just to be there and see. That was so that broke up my journey on the way to New Zealand, and then had a nice time in New Zealand with New Zealanders. Hi.
Hello. Yeah, you were saying before that you thought you were maybe shouldn't have been in Doctor Who the movie. I actually thought you were the best thing in it, apart from Pumpkin Cat. Good performance.
Louder.
One more part of the question. It was actually. Do you think it was that poor performance because it was really, really good, serious, honest performance of the Doctor? I think the first time that you really had a chance to do it. I think it was that or some other great performance that got you the role in the Hobbit.
Well, could you take the Hobbit? Oh, yes. Well, it's nice of you to say. I enjoyed playing the Doctor in the film, but I don't think it worked for our American audience. It was too complicated in a way, because having the Doctor, we all know, we all grew up with it, you know, it's like pantomime, we all know what you're supposed to do, we all know that the Doctor moves on and another one comes, but for Americans, they've never seen it, so suddenly they're watching this, there's this amazing, handsome man, you know, brilliant actor there, and then suddenly he gets shot, you know, and then some ugly little comes along. Well, I mean, you know, what they're going to think is, you know, it's too complicated for them to work that one out. So that's why I don't think it really worked, and that's why, I mean, you know, I shouldn't have been in it. This made it too complicated. Did I get the part because of Doctor Who in the bit? Perhaps, yes, because I also got it because I was playing I played the Fool in King Lear with Ian McKellen, Mr. Gandalf himself, and we went to New Zealand and we played to Peter Jackson and his family in the theatre. They all came to see us. And then Peter Jackson and his family invited us home, you know, for a little reception and a welcome. When I was there, his children were rather excited because they kept saying, "Oh, I hope Daddy comes in your costume." He had my costume. Peter Jackson's got my costume. And so I thought, well, I'm sure he doesn't dislike me. He must like me a bit. He's got my costume. I don't like costume. Anyway, he didn't turn up in it, and but that gave me an idea that he knew who I was. Also, having seen King Lear and having seen me work with Ian, I suddenly thought, you know, that was a good thing. So it came from Doctor Who and from King Lear, and also because I did years ago did a screen test for Bilbo Baggins. I was up and you go for screen tests, you do them, they send them off to New Zealand, they look at them and they choose, and they pick them, and then they kind of hone them down to the last few. Well, I was honed down all the way to the last 2. So there was the last 2, and then, what's his name?
Ian Holmes!
Yes, I knew, but I just wanted to get it to me. Anyway, I'm terrible at names, honestly, I forget them. Don't even know who I am. Anyway, Ian Holm got the part, as we know. Pity he wasn't working that week, because I nearly got it. So they liked me, obviously, up to that point. And they kept me in mind. That again added to the list of things, the ticks, that got me Radagast Brown.
Tell us a good story about working with Sophie Aldrin on Doctor Who.
That was a very good story. Anyway, I can't tell you that. She's not here yet. Oh, great. Sophie. the day she arrived, she just started laughing at my jokes, and she still laughs at them. I mean, if she was here now, she'd laugh at them. That was one of the reasons why she got the job. They said, "Do you want to work with Sophie Aldred?" I said, "Yeah." When you look at her, my God, she's so beautiful. When she arrived, she looked like a young, not Ingrid, is it Ingrid Bergman? Or, it's not the director, not the fella. She looked just like the man who directs plays, films. And I fell in love with her. But she was so beautiful. And it was just, you know, perfect. Lots of adventures we had. I'm trying to figure if she ran me over on a motorbike or did I run her over on a motorbike. But anyway, she arrived for our first audition on a motorbike. She wore, you know, she had all the leathers, she had a big motorbike, she used to be striding this motorbike like a colossus across the world. And off she would go and arrive. And then all the filming we did, they all gave me the motorbike. And I couldn't ride a motorbike. But she could, so she was so frustrated, she would watch me onto a motorbike. And they'd always put it on a hill and say action. I go, and they go backwards out of the film. Things like that. So, those little tales. Maybe Sophie Arrive should remind me of more things that we go up to. Oh, I can't tell you everything we go up to in the TARDIS.
I'm sure you enjoy working with Sophie. What other companion would you like to work with?
Marilyn Monroe. I wait with Marilyn in the TARDIS. I don't know, other companion? I mean, it was great. Bonnie was great because you know, when I first got the gig, the job, you know, I was a bit nervous. But luckily, I had worked with Bonnie Langford for a year in the very successful Pirates of Penzance at Drury Lane. And every night we got married and twice on Saturdays. I think on Sunday we got divorced. But anyway, I knew Bonnie, so to arrive with knowing somebody who'd already done it was terrific. She kind of eased me in to the thing of some friend, someone I knew, who I could, you know, get to let me do it. Anyway, I'm around here. Let's see this person around here. I'm doing.
I was wondering, was there any one role in particular that you almost got, but didn't, and really, really wish you had done?
Oh gosh. I suppose Bilbo Baggins. Although they did tell me that when I went along to see them, when they offered me the part, they did say that it was a good thing I didn't get Bilbo Baggins because they've given me a bigger part in The Hobbit. So maybe it was a good thing I didn't get Bilbo Baggins, but I would like to have got that. I'll go up there because I'll come back. Oh my God, there's a lady with fangs.
I was wondering if there was any way you could pick to go in time and space, where would you go on holiday?
Holiday, time and space. I think I'd like to go, well, definitely go back in time. I'd be quite interested to go, you know, and see the first night of one of, you know, the great Greek tragedy, you know. That would be fun, I think. Yeah, around about, you know, go and see early Greek civilization. Because I'd like to see that bit, because when I was at school, my Latin teacher told me the Greeks were so civilized, they invented television, realized how bad it was and chucked it out the window. And I would quite like to have gone back and seen that day, when they got rid of the telly.
Just wondering, what were you able to take when they cancelled the series? Did you keep anything?
Me, I was the only thing. I wanted to take Sophie, but that wasn't allowed. Well, I ended up, by chance, you're late. What are you doing? Have you got a note? Have you asked permission to leave? Yes. What do you think this is? Sit. Anyway, I did by chance buy it. I had my whole costume. But they gave me a spare costume, you know, to do, you know, openings and closings and, you know, things like that. And so when they cancelled it, they forgot to ask for it back. But I didn't know. I wish I'd taken everything. I mean, I should have nuts and bolts. I mean, I could have, you know, I could have retired and just put them on eBay. I had no idea it was going to carry on forever. Thank goodness.
Hi. Would Paul McGann have been given your seal of approval if he was given the chance to be seen as the Doctor if it's made by British producers?
Would he be given mice? Would I approve of him? Well, that ugly little fellow. With a liver ugly and incomprehensible accent. Yeah, no, I mean, Paul and I are good mates. And that was another nice thing, that he got the part. So, I mean, if they'd done it over in Britain, I would have been, yeah, it would have been good, really. Oh, I wish I had carried on in a way then, but it didn't. But anyway, what's happened to it now is brilliant. I mean, you know, I love the new ones, except the fact that they got a 12-year-old to do the last Doctor. I mean, I always preached that the Doctor should be an older man. I mean, I had this theory that was for the good of society. What an arrogant little I am. But anyway, for the good of society, I thought, yeah, we should have a superhero who's old. You know, he doesn't wear his underpants outside his trousers. You know, that kind of thing. That's the kind of superhero that young people will look up to old people and think, oh my goodness, they have some wisdom. They will save us. But now they give it to a 12-year-old. Who is amazing, by the way. I didn't think he was going to be good, but I thought, he's got a face that, I don't know what age it belongs to. It's universal. It's ancient, it's old, it's young, it's, you know, it's an amazing, amazing face. And he does a wonderful job. So I was wrong. It's an amoeba the next time. That's the next one you're going to get.
Other than yourself, who is your favourite Doctor?
Myself. Other than myself, who's my favourite Doctor? Well, I suppose my favourite Doctor is the very first Doctor I ever watched, really. Patrick Troughton. I came across him by accident. He was lying dead drunk in front of me. Oh, hello, Patrick Troughton. No, he wasn't. He was lovely. I never met him, sadly. But he was my first Doctor. And got me hooked on Doctor Who, and then I watched it through Patrick, through John Pertwee, and then half of Tom Baker, the top half. And then I stopped watching it because I became an actor, and we didn't have VCRs or any of this technology. Now, it's hard to believe that, isn't it? Only so a few years ago. And we couldn't, so I lost touch, and I forgot all about it until I heard there was a job going at the BBC. It turned out to be Doctor Who. Are you putting two fingers up at me for some reason, or is it?
I just wanted to say thank you. You are my favourite Doctor, because you're the first person I genuinely believe is insane.
Thank you.
So that's what it was like working on Vision On, where what you were doing was purely visual comedy.
Well, that was terrific. I enjoyed that immensely, working on Vision On. And for those of you who didn't see it, it was a brilliant, brilliant programme. It started off 12 years before as just a programme for the hard of hearing and deaf. And then it gradually developed into a very visual programme that everybody, became universal. Everybody could watch. And many people were inspired to become painters and artists because of, you know, the great Tony Hart and all his amazing television art that he did there. And also out of it grew Aardman, because Morph was in it, you know, Little Rubbery Man. And these are a couple of young schoolboys who just got together and made bits of vision. And I displayed visual parts. Originally the guy I took over from was a mime artist, but I didn't do mime as such. And so I just did visual, like silent movie. Have you seen The Artist, anybody? Seen The Artist? It's amazing, isn't it? Beautiful film. Anyway, Vision On had elements of that in it. And I was blessed to be able to do that. Because I never trained, and I didn't know for years, until I was 27, that I was carrying this baggage with me. And in the bag was a lot of abilities to do silent movie acting. I had no idea. Must be because as a child I must have watched them all and just collected it, and it was in there. And then when the chance came, bang, it all came out, and I suddenly could do it. So I used to love doing Vision On for that reason. Hello.
What was the most embarrassing thing that happened to you on film with Doctor Who?
Meeting you. Most embarrassing thing? Oh gosh, I'm sure there was lots of embarrassing things. Can you remember anything embarrassing?
I remember you and Sophie eating a cream cake.
That was very embarrassing.
At the same time, don't we?
Oh, at the same time? That wasn't embarrassing, that was fun. I can't remember, I might come back to it.
What do you think about the talk about having a female doctor?
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but it's, you know, I always feel that the doctor should be a man.
Yes, I'm a great feminist, really, and in a way, there's part of me keeps thinking, well, of course I shouldn't be a female doctor. But then, would Sherlock Holmes, would that be a female? I don't think so, really. Mrs. Marples, would that be a male? Because these are, these are heroes, and Doctor Who's in the tradition of those, of those characters I've just mentioned. They're, kind of well-known kind of characters. And I don't think in that way it should be changed. Maybe they should invent, someone else should come along and do a Mrs. Marples, Mrs. Doctor Who-ish. I mean, Mrs. someone else from the planet, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's why I don't think it would work.
Hi, we have some great science fiction and fantasy authors here during this weekend. Do you have a particular favourite of not just those people attending, but generally in the genre?
Well, H.G. Wells, comes to mind really. He was the first, I think. Yes, I wish I know. Because someone's just asked me to write my five favourite books and why I like them in 50 words for each book. And I've just left home and I've got a whole library of books and I can't remember any of them. I mean, I went and looked at them. There's this Scottish writer who writes both, Ian Banks. What's he called in the science fiction name? M. Banks, yes. Just, someone like me who can't remember a name, and he does that, completely confuses me. Anyway, I like him a lot. But over here, so sorry.
You said yourself you've been all over the world in the last couple of years. Where was the most exotic place for you to send as Doctor Who? Where was the most exotic place the BBC sent you as Doctor Who?
Who sent me as Doctor Who? Oh, the BBC! Well, if they sent me anywhere exotic, it would be Trafalgar Square toilets or something. I mean, that's the most exotic. Where would they send me? Where would I wish they would send me? Yes. I don't know really. I'd quite like to go well, not Tibet, Nepal. Paul has got a house in Nepal. Paul McGann. He was building this house, he and another friend, over a certain amount of time, and the king saw it, and the king of Nepal said, "Oh, that's a nice house." So he went into it, and they hadn't quite put in the electricity and the plumbing. So he said, "I'll put in the electricity and the plumbing, and then I'll come and stay." So Paul McGann's suddenly got a king staying in his house, and he didn't really want it. That would be of interest. I don't know where I'd go. Exotic. I've been to so many places. America, I've been there, done that. Latin America, I'd have to go to Latin America, I think. I'm hoping that Doctor Who might take off there, or The Hobbit might take me there, because I've been to a convention in Spain earlier last year. I went to Spain, and that was the very first time. So the Spanish are getting into Doctor Who in a big way, and I'm hoping they'll spread it to Latin America. So I can go to Brazil or somewhere like that.
I once heard an exotic rumour that you used for an act where you used to have a nose up your nose. Any truth to it?
You'd heard I used to bang nails at my nose. You'd have to be mad to do a thing like that. But I did. I heard someone once had an act where they put ferrets down their trousers. You'd have to be mad to do something like that. And I did. I heard that someone once set light to his head. Must have to be mad to do something like that. And I did. Yes, I used to do a show called An Evening with Silvester McCoy, The Human Bomb. Impossible to do now. Those days of innocence. People didn't go around really blowing themselves up. I mean, I used to go blow myself out, but for a laugh. It shows you what kind of sense of humour they had in those days. No, I used to do this show, it's called An Evening with Silvester McCoy, The Human Bomb. Before that, I was just Kent Smith, the actor. I got this role, and Ken Campbell, who ran it, he said to me once, he said, "Yeah, it'd be really good if the audience believed you were the real McCoy." he said, we could put in a programme, Silvester McCoy, played by Silvester McCoy. Silvester McCoy left an underground school at 15, went to India, studied with gurus. That's why he bangs nails up his nose, sets like in his head, puts ferrets down his trousers, escapes from mailbags, nuts with potato into 1,000 pieces, all sorts of lies on beds of nails, as bricks broken on his chest. I did all these things. You have to be mad. And I said, okay, let's do that. And then I said, where did the name come from? And Silvester, that came from a song. Have you heard about the big strong man who lives in a caravan? Have you heard about the Jeffrey Johnson fight when the great black American beat the white? You can bring all the heavyweights you got, cause we got a little man to beat the lot. He plays the organ in the belfry and he wants to fight Jack Dempsey. That's my brother, Silvester. What's he got? He's got a row of 40 medals on his chest, big chest, explored all the Arctic in his vest. He knows no rest. Big of the arm, stuck in a punch, hellfire, son of a gun, don't push, just shut, plenty of room for thee and me. He's got an arm as big as a leg, a lady's leg, and the punch that was sink a battleship, big ship. He takes all the army and the navy to put the wind up. Silvester. That's what my first name came from. That's a rather rude joke. I can't really tell it to you. Are there any children here? I heard that child say no, did you? Well, it's a bit embarrassing, really. It's a bit tasteless and it's a bit not PC. But this is a fact. This is what Ken Campbell got McCoy from. It inspired him. There was the recruiting sergeant is recruiting young guys into the army. And yes, Captain, what do you do in the city street? He said, and the first one says, oh, I was a cocksucker. He said, I beg your pardon. He said, I was a cocksucker. A what? Yes, he said, explain yourself. He said, well, yes, I used to get coke and I used to put it in a sack. I was a coke sacker. Oh, a coke sacker. Oh, right. Oh, well, you can join the army. And then the next one comes along and he said, well, yes, what did you do in the city street? He said, I was a coke sacker. Oh, what? I was a cocksucker. What? He said, yes, I used to get socks and I put the cardboard in the sock. A sock tucker. Oh, a sock tucker. Oh, I see, you're a sock tucker. Yes, you can join the army. And then the next one comes along and said, what did you do? He said, oh, cocksucker. I beg your pardon? And what? He said, yes, I worked in the winery and I used to soak the cork so it could be stuck in a bottle. Oh, a cork soaker. God, it's hard to say. No wonder you can say cork. Anyway, he said, oh, that's all right, you can join. And then the fourth one comes along and says, I was the real McCoy. That's where the name came from. It's a man, or a lady, no, it's a lady with me here. Hello.
If TARDIS was going to run right now in here, where would you travel to?
Where would I travel to if it landed here? I'd like to go to that planet they've found. You know, the new one where they think, it's a bit bigger than here, and it's got the same kind of, we could maybe live there. Oh, you haven't heard of that one? You went, ooh. You've heard it, haven't you? It's a big, I'm not thinking of that film I just saw called Melancholy. I'm not thinking of that. No, there is a real one somewhere, but I think we might possibly be able to live. I'd like to go there. That'd be a good one to go to. Let's see if I get through here without breaking anyone's. Move that hand back. Ladies and
I saw you at the Little Shop of Horrors in Glasgow when you were at Mr. Mishnick, and it's not really like a hero-type character. Do you prefer playing a hero or a villain?
Oh, I do. I like doing it all, really. I mean, villain, hero, comedy, straight. I'm off to Scotland on Monday to do a new play called Plume, and it's at the Tron Theatre, if you happen to be home. Anyway, it's on the Tron. It's a very sad, beautiful play, wonderfully written, and it's about a widow who lost his son in the Lockerbie massacre, and it's his reaction to the minister allowing the bomber free. It's based in that, and it's a very beautiful, poignant piece. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So it's mixing it all. I love mixing it all. The whole mix of everything really. I loved in theatre, film, radio, busking, banging nails up my nose.
And what was your favourite monster in either your tenure or any of it?
My favourite monster? I think it's the one, there was one in, was it Battlefield? Or was it Curse of Fenric? I can't remember now. It was beautifully made, with big horns and things. Does anyone know what that might be? Battlefield. And what was it called? He, him, her. Pardon?
Destroyer.
How you doing? Destroyer. I thought he was actually the best of my tenure, I thought. Although the Tetraps were very good at the beginning. I thought Tetraps are rather good. I felt sorry for them though, because the guys had to be the Tetraps. You know, big hairy costumes and they're all and they had to hang upside down. So they actually hung them upside down from, you know, the roof of the studio. And I had to act underneath them. And some of you thought, oh my God, the roof is, you know, the holes in the roof was dripping. But it wasn't rain, it was their sweat. They were... So I was covered in Tetrap sweat. Not a nice thing. But those guys were hanging upside down there for quite a long time. I was always amazed. I did a kind of a documentary about it once. You know, the unsung heroes of Doctor Who. And I think they are the people who play those parts. Because they have to put up with enough of, you know, uncomfortableness. It's not such a word, but I've just made it.
The moon's gone.
I'll go back in time and I'll give it to Dr. Johnson.
Hi, in the American film that you were in, they wrote the Doctor as half human. What did you think to that?
I thought that was half silly. Which half was human? I'm not going to answer that one. I don't know really. Perhaps it's a good thing in a way that it kind of got lost and it's never been taken up again. It was just, you know, it's that thing of getting a kiss in, the romance, and the Americans are very keen to get all that because, you know, they believe in all that. And then they get divorced 5 times. Where are you going?
Tell us about Sally Jones.
No. It's my secret and I'm keeping it.
Silvester, you need to have in about 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay.
Out of the episodes that you did, which was your favourite and why?
Don't answer that.
Don't answer that. What? That's no question. I mean, he's bigger than I am. I'm not going to argue. No, honestly, luckily, honestly, the Daleks one was one of the best, I think, of that I did. It was a great one to do, and I think you must have hated me when I couldn't get this work wrong. But in the early versions of it, I was meant to beat up or blow up the Daleks, and I kept saying, no, I can't do that. Oh, Ace can do that. Do you remember?
Yes, you were a pacifist.
I was a pacifist. I refused. I believed that the Doctor shouldn't do that. He was much cleverer than that. He was much cleverer than violent ways. He would actually... And you actually, I think, took revenge and wrote a huge long speech from me at the end where I talked a Dalek to death.
One or the other, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. The only problem was I had to learn the bloody speech. But anyway, no, that was great fun doing that. It was really good. And also, proud and privileged to be in a story where the Daleks went up the stairs. You know, that was just... Yeah. I mean,